Welcome back, everyone. Today's story is about a feeling many people know. It's the feeling of waking up and not knowing what to do with your life. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever looked at other people and thought, they all seem to know where they're going. Why don't I? Many people feel this. More people than you think. You're not alone in this. Let's listen to this story together. There was a young man. His name was Leo. He was 23 years old. He lived in a small apartment in a medium-sized city. The apartment had one window. It looked out onto a narrow street. Every morning, Leo looked at that window. He looked at it for a long time. He wasn't sick. He wasn't in pain. He just didn't know what to do with his days. That feeling is hard to explain to other people. It's not sadness exactly. It's more like standing in a room and not knowing which door to open, or not knowing if there are any doors at all. Leo woke up every morning around 9, sometimes 10. He lay in bed after waking. He looked at the ceiling. The ceiling was white, plain. It never changed. He stared at it anyway, like he was waiting for it to tell him something. Then he got up. He went to the small kitchen. He made coffee. He sat by the window with the cup in his hands. Outside, people walked past. They walked with purpose. They had bags. They had places to go. They looked like they had plans. Leo watched them and felt something heavy settle in his chest. He didn't have a name for that feeling, but it came every morning. Regular as the coffee. Leo had finished school 2 years ago. He had studied for 3 years. He had passed his exams. He had a certificate. But after school, nothing had felt right. Nothing had clicked into place the way he thought it would. His friends had moved forward. Daniel had a job at an insurance company. He didn't love it, but he went every day. Maria was studying more. She was always busy with books and plans. Tom had started a small business with his cousin. It wasn't going well, but he was trying. They were all trying something. Leo had tried too. He wanted to be honest about that. He hadn't just given up without trying. He had tried a few things. He worked at a shoe shop for a month, standing behind a counter, helping people find their size. It was okay, not bad. But every afternoon around 3 o'clock, he felt a strange emptiness. Like the hours were passing and taking pieces of him with them. He quit after 3 weeks. Then he found a job at a small cafe. He made coffee and sandwiches. He was good at it. His hands were quick. The customers were usually polite. But after 6 weeks, he stopped going. He just couldn't make himself go back through that door. He didn't know why. He just couldn't. After that, he stayed home. A week passed, then 2, then a month, then 3 months. He told himself he was resting. He told himself he was thinking. But mostly, he was just waiting. Waiting for something to feel right. Waiting for a feeling that never quite came. His mother called every few days. Her name was Elena. She had a warm voice. She always asked the same question. "How are you, Leo?" And Leo always said the same thing. "I'm fine, Mum." But he wasn't fine. He just didn't have the words. It wasn't her fault. She wanted to help. But how do you explain to someone that you feel like an empty room? How do you say that without worrying them? So he said he was fine. And she said, okay. And the call ended, and the apartment was quiet again. He ate simple things, bread, eggs, rice sometimes. He watched videos on his phone. He slept too much. He didn't read. He didn't go out much. He messaged people sometimes, but not often. He felt far away from everyone. Not angry, not bitter, just far. That was the shape of his life for a long time. Not dramatic, not a crisis, just flat, just gray, just empty days following empty days. One morning in early spring, something small happened. Leo couldn't sleep. He got up at 7, earlier than usual. The apartment felt different at that hour. The light was softer. The street outside was quiet. He made coffee and stood by the window. A woman walked past with a dog. The dog stopped suddenly and looked at something in the gutter. A leaf, maybe. Or a small stone. It sniffed it very carefully. The woman waited patiently. She didn't pull the lead. She just waited. The dog sniffed for a long time. Then it looked up, satisfied, and they walked on together. Leo watched and felt something move in him. Something so small he almost missed it. He didn't know what it was. Just a little warmth. Like a candle in a big dark room. Small, but real. He finished his coffee. He put on his shoes. He opened the door and went outside. He hadn't planned to go out. He just went. The air was cool and smelled like morning. He walked without direction. Left at the first corner, right at the next. Down a long street he didn't usually take. He came to a park. It was a small park. Just a few trees, some benches, a path around the outside. An old man was sitting on a bench near the path. He had a bag of bread in his lap. He was tearing off small pieces and throwing them to the birds. The birds came close. They weren't afraid of him. They hopped around his feet and pecked at the ground. Leo sat down on a bench not far away. He watched the old man. He watched the birds. Nobody spoke. Nothing happened. But Leo felt something quiet settle in him. Something that wasn't quite happiness. More like peace. A small, temporary peace. But real. He sat there for 40 minutes. Then he walked home slowly. That night, lying in bed, he noticed that the heaviness in his chest felt a little lighter. Just a little. Just enough to notice. A few days later, Sam called. Sam was Leo's oldest friend. They had known each other since they were children. Sam was easy to talk to. He didn't push. He didn't ask hard questions. "Hey," Sam said. "I'm going for a walk later. Nothing special. Just around the neighborhood. Do you want to come?" Leo almost said no. He always almost said no. The word was already forming in his mouth. But something stopped him. Maybe it was the memory of the park, the birds, the small peace. "Okay," Leo said. "Sure." They met at 6 in the evening. The light was golden. They walked slowly. Sam talked about his job. He worked at a small logistics company. He processed orders and answered emails. "It's not exciting," Sam said. "It's honestly kind of boring most days. But I'm learning how businesses work, how people communicate. Small things, but I'm learning." Leo listened. That word again. Learning. He kept coming back to it. He hadn't been learning anything. Not for a long time. He had been waiting. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting to feel inspired. But maybe that wasn't how it worked. Maybe you didn't wait to feel ready. Maybe you just started something and learned as you went. He didn't say this out loud, but he kept thinking about it as they walked. They stopped at a small food stand and bought cups of warm soup. They stood on the corner and ate and watched the city get dark. It was a simple evening, nothing special, but Leo felt connected. To Sam, to the street, to the evening. He hadn't felt connected to anything in a long time. Walking home alone after, he felt something shift. Very small, like a stone turning over, but real. 3 days later, Leo opened his laptop. He didn't know what he was looking for. He just opened it and started clicking around. He found some free videos about different skills. Cooking, Woodworking, writing, photography, drawing. He stopped at drawing. He clicked on a video. A woman with a calm voice was teaching how to draw a simple face. She drew slowly. She explained each step. She said, "Your first drawing will not be good. That's completely normal. The point isn't to make a good drawing right away. The point is to move your hand, to try, to start." Leo found a pencil in a kitchen drawer. He found an old notebook with blank pages at the back. He sat at the kitchen table. He pressed play again and tried to draw the face. It was bad. Very bad. The eyes were different sizes. The nose was too big. The mouth looked like a small worm. He held it up and looked at it. And then he laughed. A real laugh. Surprised and genuine. He couldn't remember the last time he had laughed at something. It felt strange in his chest. Good strange. He drew the face again. Still bad, but different bad. A little better in some places. Worse in others. He drew it a third time. Still not good. But he didn't care. His hand was moving. Something was happening. He spent an hour at that table, drawing bad faces, laughing quietly at some of them, starting again, trying again. When he finally stopped, he sat back and looked at the row of faces on the page. They were all terrible. But they were his. He had made them. In 1 hour, he had made something. 10 small somethings. He closed the notebook. He went to bed earlier than usual that night. And when he looked at the ceiling, it didn't feel quite so empty. He kept going. The next day, he watched another video. This one was about drawing simple objects. A cup, a bottle, a shoe. He tried each one. They didn't look right, but they looked like the things they were supposed to be. Mostly. Sort of. He started spending 30 minutes every day at the kitchen table with his pencil and notebook. Sometimes it felt good. Sometimes it felt boring. Sometimes he made something he actually liked. Mostly he made things that were okay. Not good. Just okay. But he kept going. After 1 week, his hand felt more comfortable holding the pencil. After 2 weeks, his lines were steadier. After 3 weeks, he drew a cup that actually looked like a cup. He put it on the shelf in the kitchen. Just propped it against the wall. He looked at it while he drank his coffee in the mornings. It was a drawing of a cup. A simple drawing. Nothing special. But every morning when he saw it, he felt something. A small, quiet feeling. Like an answer to a question he hadn't known he was asking. His sister Anna came to visit on a Saturday afternoon. She was studying at university in another city. She was home for the weekend. She was bright and busy and always moving. Leo liked her energy. It didn't tire him the way other people's energy sometimes did. It just moved around the apartment like warm air. She saw the notebooks on the table. She picked one up. "Can I look?" she asked. "If you want," Leo said. He felt his shoulders tighten a little. She opened it. She turned the pages slowly. She didn't say anything for a while. Leo made tea and tried not to watch her too closely. "Leo," she said. He turned around. She was holding the notebook open to a page near the middle. A drawing of the street below the apartment. The narrow road. The building opposite. A person walking with a bag. "This is really nice," she said. She wasn't saying it to be kind. He could tell. She was genuinely looking at it. Her head was tilted slightly. Her eyes were focused. "It's just a practice drawing," Leo said. "I'm not good yet." She looked up at him. "Not yet," she repeated. "I like that you said that." She smiled. "Not yet means you're going somewhere." After she left, Leo sat at the table for a long time. Not yet. Two small words, but they changed the shape of something inside him. Before that day, he had been thinking, I can't draw. After that day, he started thinking, I can't draw yet. One word. Yet. It opened a door. Spring moved into warmer days. Leo started going to the park more. He brought his notebook and sat on a bench near the path. He drew what he saw. An old woman with a red coat. Children on a climbing frame. A pigeon standing very still on a bin lid. A young couple eating lunch on the grass. He drew quickly. He didn't try to make perfect drawings. He just moved his pencil and let things come out the way they came. Some drawings looked good, many didn't. He stopped caring too much about which was which. He just kept drawing. He noticed things more now. He had always walked through the city and seen it in a general way. Buildings, streets, people, movement. But now he looked more closely. The way light hit a wall in the afternoon. The shadow under a bench. The specific shape of leaves on different trees. The way an old man held his newspaper. The way a child's face changed when they were concentrating. His eyes were waking up. That's how it felt. Like his eyes had been half closed for years and were slowly opening. One evening, he called his mother back. Usually, she called him. This time, he called her. She answered quickly, surprised. Leo, is everything okay? Everything's fine, he said. I just wanted to call. He paused. I wanted to tell you something. I've been drawing every day for about 2 months now. I'm still not good, but I wanted you to know. There was a silence. Not uncomfortable, more like she was taking a breath. Drawing, she said softly. Like pictures? Yeah, people, buildings, things I see outside, just in a notebook. Another small silence. Can I see them sometime? Yeah, Leo said. When you visit. I'm proud of you, she said, and her voice had something in it, something warm and careful, like she was handling something precious. After the call, Leo felt strange in a good way. He had told someone. It was real now in a new way. Shared. He hadn't told her because he needed her approval. He told her because he wanted to share something that mattered to him. That felt different from before. Before, he'd had nothing to share. Summer came. Hot afternoons. Long evenings. Leo went out early in the mornings before the heat built up. He walked to different parts of the city, places he hadn't been before. He found a street with old buildings and interesting doors. He spent an hour drawing just doors, different shapes, different colors, different handles and letterboxes. He found a canal he hadn't known about. He sat on the bank and drew the water and the reflections. He found a small market on a Tuesday morning and drew people at the stalls. A man selling vegetables. A woman looking at fabric. 2 old men arguing over something. His notebook filled up. He bought a new one. That felt like a celebration. He held the new notebook in the shop for a moment before paying. Empty pages. Waiting. He liked that feeling. He looked back at his first drawings. The bad faces. The lopsided cups. He laughed again, the way he had that first evening. But differently now. Not surprised laughter. Warm laughter. Happy laughter. The laughter of someone who has come a certain distance and can see where they started. He turned to a recent page. A drawing of the canal. He looked at it carefully. It wasn't perfect. The proportions were a little off, but it had something in it. Some quality of light, some feeling of stillness. He had put something real into it. He could see that now. He felt something he didn't have a word for at first. He sat with it. Then it came. Satisfaction. Quiet, real satisfaction. The feeling of having done something and having it matter. He started posting drawings online. Just a few at first. He made a simple account, no big description, just his name and the words, "Learning to draw." He posted a sketch of the cat he'd seen on a wall near his apartment, sitting perfectly still, looking at something off to the side. He wrote one line. "I've been learning to draw. This is one of my sketches." He closed the app. He left his phone across the room. He went and made dinner. He ate slowly. He washed up. He read a little. Then, before bed, he picked up his phone. 11 likes, 4 comments. He read them slowly. "This is really sweet. I love how you captured the cat's attitude. Keep going, you have something here. More, please." He read them again. Each one. Slowly. He didn't know any of these people. They were strangers. But they had stopped. They had looked at something he made. They had felt something. And they had taken the time to say so. He put his phone down. He lay in the dark for a while. That quiet feeling in his chest was back. The candle in the dark room, but brighter now. A little brighter. He kept posting. Once a week. Sometimes twice. He didn't post everything. He chose the drawings that had something in them. Something that felt right even if it wasn't technically perfect. Slowly, people started following him. 50, then 100, then 200. Small comments came in regularly. "I check your page every week. This one of the market is my favorite so far. You're getting better. I showed this to my mom and she loves it." Leo read every comment. He didn't always reply, but he always read. Each one was something. Each one reminded him that what he was doing was real, that it was going somewhere. Even if that somewhere was small and quiet, it was real. Then one afternoon in September, a message came. Leo was sitting at his table. He'd just finished a drawing. He was drinking water and looking at it. His phone buzzed. He picked it up. A message from someone he didn't know. "Hi, I hope this message is okay. I found your drawings a few weeks ago and I've been following your work. I'm a primary school teacher. I teach children aged 7 and 8. I'm doing a unit on observation, looking carefully at the world around us. Your drawing of the street with the person and the bag. It would be perfect for my class. Would you be okay with me using it as an example? I'd tell the children someone made it while learning, that it doesn't have to be perfect to be worth sharing." Leo read it once. Then he put his phone down. He stood up. He walked to the window. He stood there looking at the street below. The narrow street. The building opposite. The people walking past. He picked up his phone and read the message again. A teacher. Children. 7 and 8 years old. In a real classroom somewhere. And she wanted to show them his drawing. The drawing he had made standing at this same window. The drawing that came from just looking. Just trying. Just one afternoon with a pencil and a notebook and no plan at all. He sat down slowly on the floor, his back against the wall. He thought about 1 year ago, lying in bed, the ceiling, the heavy feeling, the empty cup, the gray days going nowhere. He thought about the first terrible faces he had drawn and laughed at alone in his kitchen. He thought about Anna saying, "Not yet." He thought about the park and the birds and the old man with the bread. He thought about all the mornings he had almost not picked up the pencil and had picked it up anyway. He sat on the floor for a long time. He didn't cry, but his eyes were wet. He didn't move. He just sat with it. That moment, that real, impossible moment. Then he picked up his phone and wrote back. Of course, please use it. I'm really happy you asked. Tell your students that it took me a long time to start. But once I started, I didn't want to stop. He put the phone down. He looked at his hands. These hands that had felt useless for so long. These hands that had drawn bad faces and lopsided cups and slowly gotten a little better. These hands had made something that a teacher in another city wanted to show to children. He stayed on the floor a little longer, not thinking, just feeling, just letting it be real. Then he got up. He went to the kitchen. He made coffee. He sat by the window. And this time when he looked at the people walking past, he didn't feel separate from them. He felt like one of them. Someone going somewhere. Someone with something to show for their days. His mother came to visit in November. She took the train and arrived on a Friday evening. Leo had tidied the apartment. He had put some of his drawings on the wall. Just 3. The street. The canal. The cat. She walked in and looked around. She saw the drawings immediately. She walked to them slowly. She stood in front of each one for a while. Leo stood in the kitchen doorway watching her. She turned around. Her eyes were bright. You did these, she said. It wasn't a question. Yeah, he said. She sat down at the table. Bring the notebooks, she said. All of them. He brought 3 notebooks. She opened the first one. She turned the pages slowly and carefully. Like the pages were something precious. She moved through all 3 notebooks. Leo made tea. He brought it to the table. He sat across from her and watched her look. When she finished, she closed the last notebook gently. She looked at him. Her eyes were soft and full. Leo, she said quietly, you found something. I think I did, he said. She reached across the table and put her hand on his. She held it. I'm proud of you, she said. Not because of the drawings, although they're beautiful. I'm proud because you kept going. On the hard days, too. You kept going. Leo didn't speak. There was nothing he needed to say. He just held her hand and felt the warm kitchen around them and the drawings on the wall and the notebooks on the table. He had waited a long time to hear those words. Not just from her. He had waited to say them to himself. And sitting there, he finally could. Winter came quietly. Cold mornings, short days. Leo stayed inside more, but he didn't stop drawing. He started watching watercolor videos. He bought a small set of watercolors from a discount shop. Very basic. Just 12 colors and a couple of brushes. He tried painting simple things. A flower from a photo. A mug on the table. The view from his window. Watercolor was harder than pencil. Colors mixed in ways he didn't expect. Things looked muddy or pale. Lines disappeared. Shapes went wrong. But he kept going. Because he knew something now that he hadn't known before. The mistakes were part of it. Not the embarrassing part. Just part of it. Like stones on a path. You step on them and keep walking. He made many bad watercolors. He made some that were okay. He made a few that he genuinely liked. The colors in them did something unexpected. Something almost accidental. But beautiful in their own way. He posted some online. People liked them. I love how soft these feel. The colors in this one are so gentle. This is a big step forward. Each comment was a small stone of warmth. Sam called in December. They talked for a long time, longer than usual. Leo told him everything. The drawing every day, the notebooks, the online account, the message from the teacher, his mother's visit. Sam was quiet for a moment after hearing it all. Then he said, "Leo, I didn't know any of this was happening." "I didn't tell anyone," Leo said. "I wanted to see if it was real first." "Is it real?" Sam asked. "Yeah," Leo said. "It's real." Sam laughed, a warm, genuine laugh. "I'm really happy for you," he said. "Genuinely. You sound different." "Different how?" Leo asked. Sam thought about it. "Like you know where you're going," he said. "Even if it's just one step." Leo thought about that after the call. Like you know where you're going. He didn't have a plan, not a big one. He didn't know if drawing would become a job or stay a quiet daily thing. He didn't know where any of it was heading. But Sam was right. He felt like he was going somewhere. Not fast, not with certainty, but somewhere. And that feeling was completely new. January came, a new year. Leo sat at his table early in the morning. The apartment was cold. He had a blanket around his shoulders. He had coffee. He had a fresh notebook, started just last week. He opened it to a blank page. He picked up his pencil. He held it for a moment. He didn't draw. He just held it and thought. 1 year ago, he was lying in bed looking at the ceiling, feeling empty, feeling like a cup with nothing in it, feeling like everyone else had a map and he had nothing, not even a direction. He thought about everything that had happened in that year, not the big things. There were no big things, just small ones. A morning walk, a bad drawing, a laugh alone in a kitchen, a bench in a park, Sam talking about learning, Anna saying, "Not yet," a stranger at a market who saw something in him, a teacher's message, his mother's hand on his. Small things, just small things. But they had added up. Slowly, quietly, over 12 months, they had added up to something real. He thought about the teacher and those children in that classroom. He hoped they were drawing today. He hoped they were making something imperfect and wonderful. He hoped someone was telling them, "It doesn't have to be perfect. Just try." He looked at his hand holding the pencil. Then he started to draw. He drew the window, the cold street outside, the early light coming slowly, pale and gray and beautiful. He drew carefully and slowly. He put something real into it. The feeling of this morning, this quiet, full, real morning. When he finished, he held the notebook up and looked at it. It wasn't his best drawing, but it was true. It was exactly what this morning felt like. And he had captured it, with his own hand. After 1 year of trying, he put the notebook down. He drank his coffee. He looked out the window at the street below. People were beginning to appear, walking, going somewhere. He was one of them now. He felt it clearly. A person going somewhere. Slowly. Without a big plan. Without certainty. But going. Really going. And that was everything. After all those empty mornings, after all the gray days and the heavy feeling in the ceiling and the cup with nothing in it, that simple feeling of going was everything. Leo's story isn't a big story. There's no fame in it, no sudden success. Just a real story about a young man who felt lost for a long time, and who found something small and held on to it and let it grow. Maybe you know this feeling. Maybe right now you're in your own empty time, looking at other people and wondering why they seem to know where they're going, wondering if you ever will. You will, but not by waiting. You'll find it by trying something. Anything. Something small. Something that makes your hand move, or your mind wake up, or your eyes open a little wider. It won't feel important at first. It might feel embarrassing or boring or pointless. Do it anyway, Come back to it tomorrow and the day after. Direction isn't a map someone gives you. It's something you make, one small day at a time. If this story touched something in you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more simple stories about real feelings. We'll see you next time.